You finish another trading day exhausted. You took 14 trades. Your plan said 3. 14. You can't even remember why you took most of them. It's like something takes over, something you can't control. You promise yourself tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow you'll stick to 3 trades maximum. Tomorrow you'll be disciplined. Tomorrow you'll finally stop overtrading. But tomorrow comes. By noon, you've already taken 7 trades. By end of day, you've taken 16, more than yesterday. The pattern continues. This isn't random. This isn't weakness. This is psychological patterns running your trading behavior on autopilot. Your brain has developed specific loops that trigger overtrading, and these loops fire automatically without your conscious awareness. Understanding these psychological patterns is the first step to breaking them, because you can't fight what you can't see. And right now, invisible patterns are controlling your trading decisions. Let me tell you about Yale, who discovered he had 4 distinct psychological patterns driving his overtrading. Once he identified them, he finally broke free from the loop that had trapped him for 2 years. Yale's 4 hidden patterns. Yale had been overtrading for 2 years. He tried everything to stop. Willpower, promises, trade limits. Nothing worked. He'd commit to taking fewer trades, then find himself taking 20 trades in a single day without understanding why. Yale decided to approach this differently. Instead of trying to stop overtrading, he'd study his overtrading. He'd become a detective investigating his own trading psychology. For 30 days, Yale recorded not just his trades, but his mental state before each trade. What was he feeling? What was he thinking? What triggered the urge to trade? After 30 days, Yale analyzed his data, and he discovered 4 distinct psychological patterns that were driving his overtrading. These weren't random impulses. They were predictable, repetitive loops. Pattern 1, the boredom loop. Yale noticed that 38% of his overtrades happened during slow market periods. When price wasn't moving much, Yale would feel restless and uncomfortable. His brain would scan for any reason to trade just to feel active. The psychological pattern looked like this: slow market, to boredom, to discomfort, to urge to trade, to take marginal setup, to brief relief, to slow market continues, to more boredom, to more trades. This loop could generate 5 or 6 unnecessary trades in a single slow morning. Yale wasn't trading opportunities. He was trading to escape the discomfort of doing nothing. Pattern 2, the validation loop. Yale discovered that 27% of his overtrades happened after winning trades. This seemed backward. Shouldn't winning make you more selective? But Yale's brain worked differently. After a win, Yale felt smart and capable. He wanted more of that feeling. So he'd take another trade quickly to validate his intelligence again. Each win created hunger for more validation. The psychological pattern: win a trade, feel smart, want more validation, take another trade quickly, sometimes win, more validation, sometimes lose, need to prove I'm still smart, take another trade. Loop continues. This validation-seeking loop can turn one good trade into 5 mediocre trades chasing the feeling of being right. Pattern 3, the punishment loop. Yale found that 24% of his overtrades happened after losing trades, but not the way he expected. Yale wasn't revenge trading to recover money. He was trading to punish himself. After a loss, Yale would feel like a failure. His inner critic would attack him, and unconsciously, Yale would take more trades knowing they'd probably lose, almost as self-punishment for the first loss. The psychological pattern: lose a trade, feel like a failure, Inner critic attacks, unconsciously seek punishment, take bad trades, lose more, see, you're terrible, more self-attack, more punishment trades. This dark loop wasn't about recovery. It was about Yale's psychology confirming his negative self-image through continued losing. Pattern 4, the incompleteness loop. The final 11% of Yale's overtrades came from a feeling of incompleteness. Yale would take 2 trades, both winners, and feel like something was missing. The day felt unfinished, so he'd take more trades trying to feel complete. The psychological pattern: take planned trades, feel incomplete, search for more setups, take marginal trades, still feel incomplete, take more trades, day becomes chaotic, feel worse, promise to do better tomorrow.
Why psychological patterns are so powerful. Yale's discovery of his 4 patterns explained why willpower never worked against overtrading. These weren't conscious choices. They were automatic psychological loops running beneath his awareness. Psychological patterns are powerful because they bypass rational thinking. By the time Yale consciously noticed he was overtrading, the pattern had already triggered several trades. The pattern operated faster than his awareness. These patterns are also powerful because they're self-reinforcing. The boredom loop creates trades that create more boredom when they lose. The validation loop creates wins and losses that both trigger more trading. Each pattern feeds itself. Trading psychology patterns become especially strong because trading provides immediate feedback. You trade, you get a result, your brain learns. But your brain often learns the wrong lesson. It learns that trading relieves boredom temporarily. It learns that trading provides validation briefly. These wrong lessons cement the patterns deeper. Another reason psychological patterns control overtrading is that they're tied to emotional needs. Boredom is uncomfortable. Validation feels good. Self-punishment feels deserved when you're self-critical. Incompleteness is anxious. These patterns aren't random. They're serving emotional purposes. Yale's overtrading wasn't about wanting more profit. It was about escaping boredom, seeking validation, expressing self-criticism, and chasing completeness. The trades were just the vehicle for emotional needs. This is why just trade less never works. You're not addressing the emotional needs driving the patterns. The needs remain, so the patterns remain, so the overtrading remains. How Yale broke each pattern. Once Yale understood his 4 psychological patterns, he could design specific interventions for each one. Generic advice like be more disciplined was useless. Pattern-specific solutions were powerful. Breaking the boredom loop. Yale's boredom pattern triggered during slow markets. The solution wasn't to fight boredom. The solution was to not be present during slow markets. Yale identified his market's slow periods, typically 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and after 3 p.m. During these hours, Yale would close his trading platform completely, not minimize, close. He'd leave his desk and do something engaging elsewhere. No slow market exposure meant no boredom trigger. No boredom trigger meant no boredom loop. Yale eliminated 38% of his overtrading by simply not being at his desk during slow periods. Breaking the validation loop. Yale's validation pattern triggered after wins. The solution was to interrupt the pattern before the next trade. Yale created a post-win ritual. After any winning trade, he'd close his platform for 20 minutes. During those 20 minutes, he'd write in his journal about the trade. What made it good? Did he follow his process? This ritual served 2 purposes. First, the 20-minute break interrupted the immediate urge to trade again for validation. Second, the journaling redirected Yale's validation seeking toward process analysis rather than more trading. After the ritual, Yale's urge to trade for validation had usually passed. His brain got validation from the journaling instead of needing another trade.
Breaking the punishment loop. Yale's punishment pattern was the darkest and most damaging. After losses, he'd unconsciously seek more losses to confirm his negative self-image. The solution required changing Yale's relationship with losses. Yale created a new rule. After any loss, he'd say out loud, "That loss was expected. My strategy expects losses. I'm not a failure. This is normal trading." Then Yale would take a 30-minute break, not to avoid revenge trading, to avoid punishment trading. During the break, Yale practiced self-compassion. He'd remind himself that losses are part of trading, that one loss says nothing about his worth. This self-compassion practice interrupted the self-attack that triggered punishment trading. Without the self-attack, there was no need for punishment trades, breaking the incompleteness loop. Yale's incompleteness pattern triggered when trading felt unfinished. The solution was to define what complete actually meant. Yale created a predefined completion target: 3 quality trades per day. Not 3 wins, 3 trades that met all his criteria regardless of outcome. After 3 quality trades, Yale's day was complete. Done. Finished. He'd close his platform with a sense of accomplishment. The arbitrary incompleteness feeling was replaced by a concrete definition of completion. Yale also created an end-of-day ritual where he'd review his 3 trades and grade his process. This ritual gave Yale closure that his brain was seeking through endless trading. The results of pattern breaking. Yale's pattern-specific interventions produced results that generic discipline advice never achieved. Within 6 weeks, Yale's overtrading transformed completely. Before identifying patterns, Yale averaged 17 trades per day. After breaking patterns, Yale averaged 3.4 trades per day. That's an 80% reduction in trade quantity. But the quality improvement was even more dramatic. Before, Yale's win rate was 41%, too many low-quality trades. After, Yale's win rate was 67%, only quality trades. Before, Yale lost an average of $1,200 per month despite constant trading. After, Yale made an average of $3,400 per month with minimal trading. The transformation wasn't about discipline. Yale didn't become a more disciplined person. He simply identified and interrupted the psychological patterns that were driving his overtrading. Remove the patterns, remove the overtrading. Yale also experienced unexpected psychological benefits. He felt calmer during training. He enjoyed trading again. He had energy left after trading sessions. His self-image improved because he wasn't constantly failing at self-control. The pattern-breaking approach worked because it addressed root causes rather than symptoms. Overtrading was the symptom. Psychological patterns were the cause. Fix the cause and the symptom disappears. Identifying your own patterns. Yale's 4 patterns might not be your 4 patterns. Psychological patterns are personal. You need to identify your specific patterns to break them. Step 1. Track your mental state. For the next 2 weeks, before every trade, write down, what am I feeling right now? What triggered the urge to trade? What do I hope this trade will give me emotionally? Be honest. Don't write what you think you should feel. Write what you actually feel. Bored? Anxious? Excited? Frustrated? Hopeful? Desperate? Step 2. Look for repetition. After 2 weeks, review your notes. Look for repeated feelings and triggers. Do you overtrade when bored? After wins? After losses? When anxious? When excited? During certain hours? Your patterns will reveal themselves through repetition. The same triggers and feelings appearing again and again are your patterns. Step 3. Name your patterns. Give each pattern a clear name. My boredom pattern. My after-win pattern. My anxiety pattern. Naming creates awareness. You can't interrupt a pattern you can't identify. Step 4. Understand the emotional need. For each pattern, ask, what emotional need is this pattern serving? Am I trading to escape boredom? To feel validated? To punish myself? To feel complete? To reduce anxiety? Understanding the emotional need helps you design interventions that address the need rather than just blocking the behavior. Step 5. Design pattern-specific interventions. For each pattern, create a specific intervention, not generic discipline, specific actions that interrupt that specific pattern. Boredom pattern, remove yourself during slow periods. Validation pattern, create post-win rituals. Anxiety pattern, address the anxiety directly before trading. Each pattern needs its own solution. Your path to breaking the patterns. Yale's journey from 17 trades per day to 3 offers you a clear approach to finally stop overtrading. First, accept that overtrading isn't a discipline problem. It's a psychological pattern problem. Stop blaming yourself for lack of willpower. Start understanding the patterns driving your behavior. Second, become a detective. Study your own trading psychology. Track your mental state before trades. Look for what triggers your overtrading. Be curious rather than judgmental. Third, identify your specific patterns. Your patterns might be Yale's 4 patterns or completely different ones. What matters is identifying your patterns through self-observation. Fourth, design pattern-specific interventions. Generic advice doesn't work. Create specific solutions for each specific pattern. Boredom requires different solutions than validation seeking. Punishment patterns require different solutions than incompleteness. Fifth, implement and adjust. Try your interventions. See what works. Adjust what doesn't. Breaking patterns takes experimentation. Some interventions will work immediately. Others will need refinement. The bottom line: psychological patterns keep you overtrading because they operate automatically beneath your conscious awareness. These patterns serve emotional needs: escaping boredom, seeking validation, expressing self-criticism, chasing completeness. Until you identify and interrupt these patterns, you'll keep overtrading no matter how much discipline you try to apply. Yale discovered 4 patterns driving his overtrading: the boredom loop, the validation loop, the punishment loop, and the incompleteness loop. Once he designed specific interventions for each pattern, his trading transformed from 17 trades per day to 3. Your patterns might be different, but the approach is the same. Track your mental state, identify repetition, name your patterns, understand the emotional needs, design specific interventions. You can't fight what you can't see, but once you see your psychological patterns clearly, you can interrupt them. And once you interrupt them, overtrading stops, not through willpower, but through pattern breaking. The question is, will you do the detective work? Will you track your mental state? Will you identify your patterns? Will you design specific interventions? Your trading psychology is running patterns right now. Those patterns are driving your overtrading. The choice is yours. Keep running the patterns unconsciously, or identify them and break free.